Hey, let's talk nerd. What's up? It's Ruben Escobar from Escobar Arts and In the Dark Productions. Go check us out. So today on Let's Talk Nerd, we're going to change it up a little bit. We're not going to talk about movies today. We're going to get really nerded out today. We're going to talk about comic books. Nope. I know, right? I love comic books. And if you're like me, right, you like to look for like the more original ones, like ones you haven't read, or you like to find the gems that you don't have yet, right, if you're a collector. Now for me, I like the original stories. Now I've got some collections going on, but, or, you know, from some storylines, but I found a really nice storyline called R.R.H. Now what that is that's the Order of the Red Riding Hood. Now it's by writers and artists Orlando Harding and Andres Esparza. Now, check out this artwork, man. I bought the entire series because I couldn't resist. And I got them all signed. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Check this out. The artwork on these things are phenomenal. Right? Now this is a different one. We'll talk about this one in another segment. But look at that. Look at that. That's what you get, Wolf. Now she's a badass. Genuine. I haven't read them all yet, but I will get to it. And I do read these comic books. Oh yes, but they will be read. So, the story goes, is obviously it's about Little Red Riding Hood, or someone, you know, around there. It's like this. It's about a character named Sydney Marie Woodman. Now her parents are basically were Red Riding Hood and the Woodsman, hence the name. So now she's brought into this world where, you know, there's fairy tales and there's all kinds of crazy things going on, monsters, werewolves, and, you know, trolls and ogres and stuff like that. And she doesn't know really what to think of this. Now there's this ultimate wolf guy named Agony, and he's coming after her. He blames her basically for everything because she's the descendant of her bloodline, and he wants to destroy her. He wants to kill her. He wants to make her feel agony. Get it? Just the cleverness of the name. Anyway, so he captures her and he holds her hostage in this house, and she finds just enough strength basically to muster up to, you know, get out of there. And she summons this ogre named Solomon. And this guy basically is like a guardian. He comes and he helps her out whenever she really needs him, or, you know, it's like kind of like a partner, but he's like super huge, you know, and she doesn't look very intimidating when you first look at her, but she carries around this cool ass samurai sword and shit, right? And she whoops total ass, and she wears a red hood. Yeah. And yeah, she's a badass. Like, I mean, you saw the artwork, man. It's pristine. It's cool. And you got to look at the artwork and the stories together. And it's not, you know, because it's not just a bunch of badass pictures to, you know, say, oh, to cover up a bunch of bad writing. The writing is actually really good. And what I have to say about the writing is it's very personable. You get in there, it's gritty. You know, like, it doesn't care, you know, it doesn't have like a certain, like, format. Well, I mean, it doesn't have a format in the sense of, like, you know, I mean, it's an independent comic book, so they can pretty much get away with whatever the fuck they want. They can say whatever they want. They can do it how they want. They, you know, they can put as much violence or as much gore or whatever, you know, uncensored. It's unhinged. That's why I like independent comic book writers and independent comic book companies. These guys. So as I was saying, there's no hold bar on these things. These guys can write whatever they want. They can put whatever content they want. They don't have to worry about, you know, a lot of shit that people, you know, the mainstream, I don't know, I'm not saying that they copy this, it's not like that. It's just that they can be unhinged. There's no chains on them. There's, you know, there's nothing but, hey, let's do a story. Cool, let's put it out. Awesome. That's what it is. And we get awesome shit like this. I mean, look at this, man. This is the ogre, Solomon, that comes and helps her. Right? And she goes through all these werewolves, all these wolves, right? Cuts them down. She's a total badass, man. Look at that. Look at this. And so it goes without saying that this is definitely one of my favorite series so far. I've gotten into it, and I've gotten into the first 2 books so far. And Yeah, I mean, they're not very long, obviously. I mean, it's a comic book, but you get into it. And you won't go through it real fast, but it's going to leave you wanting more. And I've talked to these guys. I believe it was Orlando Harding is the guy that I talked to, like actually got to sign and everything like that. Like, the dude is super pristine. Like, he's an outstanding guy. He's a big dude. He was he was sitting down, but I could tell, but when he stood up, he towered over me. He was a huge dude. Super nice though, man. Really down to earth. Like, he sold me the comic books for, pretty much dirt cheap. I think I paid like $20 for all of them, right? For all of them, for what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think it's eight books. I think I bought for $20, and it was well worth it. I like comic books, and I like to read comic books. And if you like to read comic books as well, then take my word for it. Go check out R.R.H. Red Riding Hood. Check. It's not going to be like any story that you've heard, any Brothers Grimm story that you've ever heard before. It is definitely worth it. If you want to buy the whole collection, if you're going to buy one, I would suggest buying the entire collection, because it just brings it all together. It flows so nicely. This is Ruben Escobar from Escobar Arts, telling you to go check out R.R.H. Red Riding Hood. EscobarArts.com, InTheDarkProductions.com. Stay scary, everybody.